Good afternoon and welcome to the July Cattle Briefing. My name is Joe Parsons. I serve as chair of the Agricultural Statistics Board here at USDA. This briefing is for the Secretary and other policymakers at USDA to better understand the content and context of today's report. We're happy to have Undersecretary Robert Bonney with us today for the farm production and conservation area of USDA as our secretary designate. And we're also very pleased to have Dr. Cindy Nickerson, USDA's Deputy Chief Economist, with us as well. I have a few notes for our live streaming audience. The Office of Management Budget provides guidance on the release of federal statistics. Statistical agencies are guided to provide a wide distribution of information in a variety of formats and be open about our processes and procedures. In order to share this briefing widely while meeting other OMB guidance, we will not take questions from the public at this briefing. However, NASS staff are always available for email or phone questions. We strive to have everything presented at this briefing match the official record. However, should there be any discrepancy between what is presented at this briefing and the official published estimates, always refer to the official published estimates. For that, we'll get Travis Averill up here, Chief of the NASS Livestock Branch, to give us a brief. Travis?
Thank you, Joe. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome, as Joe said, to the July 2023 cattle briefing. And so first, I'd like to provide an overview of the July 2023 cattle survey data collection process. On the map are the number of samples for the 50 states surveyed this time frame, and approximately 15,600 operations were surveyed. Data collection started on 30th of June and finished on the 14th of July. Normal collection methods were used to gather data through mail, telephone, internet, and face-to-face interviews. The primary data items were total inventory by class, all cattle on feed, along with the calf crop. Revisions for the U.S. cattle and calves. All inventory and calf crop estimates for July 1, 2022 were reviewed using final calf crop, official slaughter, death loss, and updated import and export data. This table provides the overview of the revisions for July 1, 2022. The table has the initial estimate, net revisions, in the last column is the current estimate. This is the second opportunity for the revision for July 1, 2022. As noted on the table, there are no current revisions, and the net revisions were incorporated in the January 2023 cattle report. So the July 1 current estimate for July 1, 2022 inventory is currently at 98.6 million, and the 2022 calf crop is at 34.5 million head. The reason why I kind of wanted to have this slide in addition, we did make some revisions to our milk cow inventory and beef cow inventories, made a modification of 50,000 head change. So July 1 milk cows, we revised from 9.45 million down to 9.4 million, and increased the beef cow inventory from 30,150,000 up to 30.2 million. For the July 1, 2023, U.S. all cattle and calves are at 95.9 million head, down 2.7% from 2022. At the bottom is the chart of the U.S. all cattle and calves for July 1st from 2003 to 2023. The current cattle cycle started in 2014 at 95.7 million head and peaked in 2018 at 102.8 million head. Just a note, as you'll see as we go through the presentation, some of the charts, we'll see breaks in those charts due to NASS not conducting the 2013 and 2016 July cattle surveys due to reduced funding in those two periods of time. The July 1st U.S. all cows and heifers that calved are at 38.8 million head, down 2% from previous year. Beef cows are at 29,400,000 head, down 2.6% from 2022. Milk cows are unchanged from previous year, and they're at 9,400,000 head. The chart in the bottom left-hand corner for the July 1 U.S. beef cows from 2003 to current is similar to the cattle cycle chart that I just provided on the previous slide. And to the right is the U.S. milk cows for July 1st since 2003. And over that same time frame, the inventory has ranged from 9 million to 9.5 million head. On July 1st, the U.S. all heifers 500 pounds and over at 15 million head, down 3.8% from previous year. Beef replacement heifers are at 4,050,000 head, down 2.4% from last year. Milk replacement heifers are at 3,650,000 head, down 2.7% from previous year. Other heifers are at 7.3 million head, down 5.2% from 2022. The U.S. all heifers chart for July 1 from 2003 to present mirrors the peaks and valleys of the all cattle cycle charts too. Next, we have July 1 for steers 500 pounds and over, along with the bulls 500 pounds and calves weighing less than 500 pounds. Steers are at 13.9 million, down 3.5% from 2022. The bulls 500 pounds and over are down 5%, and they're at 1,900,000 head. Calves weighing less than 500 pounds is at 26,300,000 head, down 2.6% from previous year. At the bottom is a chart illustrating the steers, bulls, and calves for July 1 for the last 21 years. Steers are blue, bulls are orange, and the calves are in gray. Takeaway from this chart is the variability you can see of the calves over the years. Next, the U.S. calf crop. The preliminary calf crop for the first half of 2023 is at 24,800,000 head, down 2% from previous year. As a percentage of the total calf crop, the first half accounts for 73.4%, unchanged from last year's calf crop in 2022. 9 million calves are expected to be born from July 1st to December 31st of 2023. That is down 1.8% from the 2022 calf crop. The preliminary annual calf crop for 2023 is 33,800,000 head. That is down 1.9% from last year. The chart provides the annual calf crop since 2003. The 2023, just note, is a preliminary estimate, and we'll further review it in the January 2024 cattle report. Trade expectations compared to NASS estimates as a percent of previous year. For the trade ranges are gray, trade averages are the black circles, and the NASS estimates are the red squares. For the 6 items illustrated on this chart here, 5 of them are within trade expectations. The one that's outside of trade expectations is probably due to the revision that we made to the milk cows. That's why I mentioned it in our revision process. Otherwise, more than likely, that all trade ranges would have been within trade ranges for NASS's report today. So the one topic when we talk about cattle is the drought impact. And so I kind of want to cover the last 18 months to illustrate how the drought has impacted the United States, though it's changed geographically over the time frame here that I have illustrated in this on this slide. The top left-hand corner of the slide is the drought condition for December 28th for 2021. The moderate drought level classified as D1 was at 50%, and the severe drought D2 was at 33%. And you move to June 28th of 2022, moderate remained the same at 50%. However, the severe drought increased 1% to be at 34%. The big takeaway is the bottom left-hand corner. That was just this past December, on December 27th, the moderate drought had increased 11%. We were at 61% impact, and where the severe drought had increased 9%. And so accumulation of 43%. And so, and now we move to June 27th, about less than a month ago. The moderate drought percent had decreased by 20%. We're at 41%. The severe drought had decreased by 23%. We're sitting at 20 being impacted. So in the top 2 maps show the most of the severe and moderate drought conditions were in the western part of the United States. Though the bottom left-hand corner map, the drought intensified in major livestock areas in the central portion of the country. As you can see, that dark green on the map behind the yellow, that's the major livestock region. So those are designated as major livestock areas. And with recent rains in certain areas of the U.S., Drought levels have come down, so the impact has improved, although there's still a lot of concerns moving forward due to the length of the drought in parts of the US as cattle rely on forages out there. Next, we have the US cattle on feed on July 1, 2023 with comparisons to last year. Feedlots with a capacity of 1,000 head or more are at 11,204,000 head, down 1.8% from previous year. As a percentage of total cattle on feed, this group accounted for 85.5% of all cattle on feed, which is slightly higher than last year's total of 85.1%. Feedlots with a capacity of less than 1,000 head are at 1,896,000. That is down 5% from last year. The chart for the July 1 all cattle on feed for 2003 to 2023, you can see the lowest inventory was in 2009 at 11.6 million. The highest was at 13.6 million, and that was in 2019 and 2020. Next, we have the U.S. feeder cattle supply for July 1, 2023 with comparisons to previous year. The feeder cattle supplies are estimated from the sum of inventories of other heifers and steers over 500 pounds, plus the calves under 500 pounds, minus cattle on feed. The estimated July 1 cattle feeder supply was down 3.6% from last year. As I provided on the previous slide, calves under 500 pounds are at 26.3 million head, steers and other heifers total to be 21.2 million. The sum of the three inventory components provide a total feeder supply of cattle feeders, which is at 47.5 million, down 3.3% from last year's total of 49.1 million. As I stated on the previous slide, all cattle on feed is at 13.1 million head. The calculated feeder supply is 34.4 million, down 3.6% from last year's 35.7 million. The feeder cattle supply chart for July 1 has ranged from 34.3 million in 2014 to as high as 38.9 million in 2003. Highlight selected upcoming NASS reports. In addition to today's July cattle report is the monthly cattle on feed, along with peanut prices. On July 28th, agriculture prices. On the 1st of August will be the care reports for cotton systems, fats and oils, flour millings, and grain crushings, along with the annual honeybee colony report. Dairy products, cash rents, and land and values will be released on August 4th. August 11th will be the next crop production report, and then August 18th, cattle on feed. Later today at 4 p.m., I'll be hosting Stat Chat to answer any questions concerning the July cattle report. All reports are available at the NASS official website. I appreciate everyone attending today's live streaming session for the July cattle ASB briefing. Thanks again and have a great afternoon. This concludes today's briefing.